family is molded by its head. Similarly, a nation mirrors its leaders, and the Namibian house is full of scandals. We're just lucky our neighbors have their own drama to deal with, otherwise we'd be the family everyone would have to be gossiping about. The fact that our leaders and those entrusted to positions of power appear to be untouchable and above the law is problematic. I see it more and more. Namibians really have a stank attitude, and I blame it on the leadership. I mean, who is serving who here? From the taxi driver to the nurses at the hospital, attitudes are stank. Our service industry is an embarrassment. Everybody wants to be a boss and no one is willing to serve, which is our purpose here, people, service to mankind, no matter what role you choose to play. Thank you for watching It's a Wrap, where we take a look at the service we get from government in exchange for our hard-earned taxes and other topical issues. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. There is no justice. There's just us. And were it not for the media, the voice of the people, gross violations of human rights would just be swept under the carpet. I spoke to the Ombudsman, Advocate John Walters, about Namibia's very wanting justice system.
The institution of Ombudsman in Namibia is a very unique institution in the sense that it has a very broad mandate. And the mandates of the Ombudsman includes the receiving and investigation of complaints relating to maladministration or bad administration, the investigations of instances of violations of human rights and freedoms. Thirdly, the protection of the environment. And there's a last one which I just usually shift over to the police, and that is the investigation of instances or matters involving misappropriation of state monies and misuse of government property. But misappropriation of public monies is just a smarter word, a better word for theft of money. So I usually keep our hands off such matters because it's a criminal matter and it belongs to the police. Because we are an individual complaint handling institution, every complaint which we received is for us important because we are dealing with a human being, and for him or her that complaint is very important, and he and she wants that complaint to be resolved as speedily as possible. The biggest challenge in my office is the lack of response and speedy response from government institutions from as high up as ministers. That is frustrating and that is challenging.
Saru Hanekom from the Kleine Kuppe Neighborhood Watch is so frustrated by the justice system that he has called on like-minded Namibians to sign a petition.
I don't know if you remember, but about a week or two ago, there was this incident on the Western Bypass where German tourists got attacked, hijacked, if you will, and that is a problem in itself. We later came to learn that the guys that attacked or hijacked the Germans, tourists, they were known criminals to Nampol, and they got bail again. And when I say again, I say that in the newspapers, it was everywhere. It was said that these criminals were known to Nampol and they had to appear in court on previous charges. And they didn't appear in court. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, they're committing another crime. and they get bail again, and a ridiculous amount to say that, you know. And I was just thinking, this cannot go on like this. What is wrong with our justice system? It clearly proves it's not working. Somewhere something needs to be changed. And that's where I decided, you know, I need to stand up. I need to speak about this. That's where I decided to start a petition. I want to take it to His Excellency the President. I want to show him, Mr. President, the country is talking. Do something. I've got, to date, since 7 o'clock this morning, I've got close to 200 signatures. Now that's not enough. The government's not going to listen to me. I need at least 100,000 signatures. And I'm nowhere close to that. So I want every Namibian who is sick and tired of crime to sign that petition. Even if it takes me 10 years to get to 100,000, I will get that signatures, and I will see the president, and I will make a change.
This week on Cecilia Says.
No. This thing is not happening. Justice must work well in this country. There's people who are hurting other people and killing other people. They go in jail. The next day they are out of bail. When there's people who's sitting for the rest of their life in jail, what's going on in our country about this justice? I am tired of this killing people and go out the next day like nothing happened. No, I'm tired, man. No.
The Ombudsman explained that much like the office of the ACC, he is unable to do much until the public lays complaints with his office. But our leaders have also instilled a culture of fear in our society.
But corruption is a criminal offense. And you know it happens usually between two persons. If no one of them speaks out, how would that complaint comes on the table of the Anti-Corruption Commission? And that is why they are inviting the general public to come up, reveal the information. But you know, we are afraid that we will be intimidated, harassed, and persecuted, you may use the word. So people are not very forthcoming with the information for obvious reasons and various reasons. Hopefully the Protection of Whistleblowers Act will help to assist more people to come forward with information about corruption.
The Office of the Ombudsman also intervened on a case reported in the papers about a woman who was arrested for stealing a juice in Zambezi recently.
Luckily, one of our investigators was in the Kavango region doing our usual complete intake clinics in the region, while we say reaching out to the people, and he became aware of the report in the newspaper. He followed it up, and according to our information of what he received from the police, and the children were never locked up with their mother in a particular cell, not for 1 minute, and all what is, we will also be assured is that the father took care of the children, or took the children to a relative to look after the children. But within 7 days, the matter was concluded, and she was reunited with her family.
The DTA's Nico Horn recently wrote to the Ombudsman and asked him to investigate irregularities at the NBC following the reports of their not having paid over employee contributions to relevant parties, which amounts to fraud.
we received a written complaint, and a member of the party visited me in the office and explained more on it. We took on the complaint. I've assigned the director, Mrs. Rako, on the matter to start with a preliminary investigation before I will thereafter assist in directing the investigation. But I believe it's not only the NBC who's not paying out to the receiver of revenue and to medical contributions to the funds. I believe there are other state-owned enterprises, and it just came to amount the RCC. If they can't even pay the salary of them, how do they pay over to the receiver of revenue?
The Ombudsman agrees with me when I say that Namibians are fast losing their moral fiber.
Look what happened in our country. The small things grew into bigger things, and that is what I said. Urinating in the public. It's common for us. We don't worry anymore. But it's a matter of indecency, maybe not a criminal offense, but look at the traffic offenses, how we, all Namibians, drive in this country. We skip traffic lights. How dangerous can that be? You know, we stop, like the taxis and ourselves, stop of any place. I would not use the word, we have really become a lawless country. But if you look just at the small things, you would say, agree with me, there is, now you ask, where are the law enforcement? We should also put the blame on ourselves. Why do we skip a red light? Why are we so in a hurry that we are not becoming, or we are lost our consideration for the next driver? You see, it's a build-up of attitudes, ignoring the law, disregarding the law, and it started small and it ends high up. We as Namibians should look into ourselves and say, what can I do to help that we can become better drivers? And said, keep your patience, start driving in the mornings up 10, 20 minutes earlier, don't be in a hurry, give away to fellow drivers and something like that. And the same is it. And the next one is report crime. We Namibians like to close our eyes or turn our backs when the neighbor brutally assault his wife or girlfriend and said, oh, I don't want to become involved. That is when you must become involved. And in the advising, parents take up your responsibility to raise responsible citizens. School curriculum must change so that we introduce tolerance education, human rights education from a tender age, so that we can learn for our rights, the rights of other people, the respect of the rights of other people, and our responsibilities. If we are not doing that, I believe that we are in for bigger things, as I may call it like that.